Well, this is about 11 o'clock in the morning. It's going to be a really quick build because I'm going to build a very simple bait, which sometimes is the easiest. I've made some segmented baits and some that are heavily carved and elaborately painted. Simple paint job, no carving, simple design. Get her done. I'm going to be using an old pattern that I had kicking around that was a pretty successful bait. Now let's see, try to find a piece of wood. We have lots of walnut, piece of mahogany over there, tons of maple. There's some poplar, but it's thick. What's that? Cedar. It's a little thicker. Piece of deck board. Yeah, I think this will do. A piece of cedar that's a little thicker than your normal board. It's like about 1 inch, which is what I like to use, like a little chunkier bait. And let's trace this on here, cut it out, and get it started. And we'll want this a little blunt-nosed, a little tight in the back. That looks about right. And I think we'll cut the lip angle while we get a nice square side to work with. Well, about 20 minutes later from finding the wood, we have a pretty good shape here for the bait. And time to do some final sanding. White pine is such a nice wood for this. It sands good. It's a buoyant wood. It's not balsa wood, but it's pretty good. But this cedar handles almost the same way. I'm not using it because it's waterproof. It's going to be waterproof no matter what I make it out of. But it's a buoyant wood. It sands good. It carves good, and I really enjoy it. And if you want to make baits, go buy a 6 or 8 foot deck board at a big box store like Home Depot's or Lowe's for like, what is it, $8–12, and you could make like 100 baits out of it. I don't know how many you could make, but you can fit a lot of these on a board like that. Nice thing about it is they're full 1 inch thick, they're not 3/4, so you can start with a thicker bait and not have to have it narrow if you don't want it to. And like a miracle, it's about as symmetrical as it's ever going to get. I'm going to take and do a little sanding with some 220 paper, and then we'll move on from there. Well, I've got the 3-wire loops made and cut down to a reasonable length. Right there. Time to drill some holes. Well, the holes are drilled. I've got to start dealing with epoxy and super glue and eventually painting, so I think it's time to go put my painting clothes on. And we're back. I've got a little hook handle on here, and I've got my super glue glove on, and it's time to seal this. Seems to be well covered. I'll hang that up and move on to other things. I decided to put the eye loop for the hooks right where the lead weight was going to be, because I wanted the lead weight to be, well, it's still forward of center, but when you put it too much forward, the thing really wobbles. I'd like to take the wobble back a little bit or down a little bit. Don't know if it'll do it or not, but we'll give it a shot. Okay, let's try it. Put the lead in a second. Well, I drilled the eye sockets, and everything's sanded down. Everything's ready to paint. A white base coat, and then I think I'll do silver, and then probably, let's see, a fluorescent blue over that. Because fluorescent really looks good over silver. And probably a little gold or sepia around the gills. Real simple, real simple. Real simple bait. That's what I'm going to do. By the way, for those using an airbrush and cleaning it, get tired of buying the, bottles of airbrush cleaner that you can use up really, really fast. So what I've been doing now is I have a little squirt bottle here, and I have some non-ammonia base, which I don't think any of them are, windshield washer fluid, alcohol, water, and I clean it with that. If I have residue on the bottom, I use a little brush. And then I have kind of detergent mix, water with a little bit of simple green, which doesn't have anything harmful in it. Worried about the rubber gaskets in the in here, and also the chrome finish. And just put it in and work its way out, and we're ready for the next batch of paint. And in this case, the next paint will be silver. And here I've got just some standard window screen. I cut a piece off so that they're squares, but if you put them this way, they're diamonds. So you align it so that they're diamond shaped this way. Down. So little alligator clips to hold this on. And I'm putting these along the back, but the scale pattern is going to be covered up with a little bit of darker paint later on. So that doesn't matter too much. I don't need it really to be from here forward. I will be spraying this, but I'll be covering it with the gills afterwards, so it's really from here down. This is a fluorescent blue. Fluorescent kind of goes nicely over silver paint. It lets the silver still show through under the fluorescent, so we'll see how this goes. I will be going over this possibly with another blue afterwards along the top and a little black. Okay, I've got some transparent bright blue in here that I am going to try to get over the top of this with. Okay, that's kind of the look I was after. Now I've got a drop of black mixed in with the blue that I had left in there. And I want to take and just spray the head a little bit with that darker color. Okay, I want to cut out a little gill pattern here so that we get something just nice and marky. Nothing elaborate, nothing fancy. Something like that. Okay, we're going to hit this with a little sepia, with a little yellow first, and then we'll go to the sepia afterwards. Now this is a sepia, and of course with sepia you've got to be really careful because it's pretty thin stuff, so it can come out splattered, but I do love sepia. And I've added a little bit of black to the sepia that was left in the cup. Of course, that does darken it up a lot. So I'm going to hit the nose with that. And okay, we've got a little black going on here. And bring this back just a little bit behind the yellow. And we're going to make a thin black line. Like that. And I can't help but just try to ruin it, maybe put a little more yellow in it. And I just happened to have left over from my last woo. It came out fast. My last build. Some yellow eyes. That I had made. Well, who'd have thought we'd be up to clear coating about 2.5 hours later? Got this Japanese UV resin that I'm finding very, very good, and about half the price of the Alumalite. It's the American version, but only on eBay. I mean, they have it on Amazon, but eBay is where the price is a lot less. Well, it came out pretty good. You can see the scale pattern pretty good here in the paint job. I took it down by the water to see how it behaved in the water, and it behaves nicely. It has a small wiggle as opposed to a thumping, which is what I wanted by putting the weight where I did in the belly. Overall, pretty satisfied with it. Not bad for, what, 3 hours and, let's see, 15 minutes. Thanks for watching, huh?